already put. So today is 29th August 24. Today is Thursday. And put the topic name as Bank Reconciliation Statement. Okay. This is a very simple chapter. If you understand the concept of it once, then it is very, very easy, right? Now, okay. First, we'll write a little bit of theory, and then we'll move on to the practical questions. This is entirely a practical, numerical based chapter. But to understand the numericals, we'll have to understand the concept through theory. Now, see what is a bank reconciliation statement. It is a statement which I'll make you write. Just listen to me. It is a statement which is prepared by the organization to match the balance as shown by the bank statement sent by the banker to us and our own bank column cash book. Okay. So we have got two different balances, or say we have for the same balance, we've got two different records. Okay. See, I'm suppose an account holder. I'm an account holder in a particular bank. Okay. Say in HDFC, I have a bank. I have an account. Now, I'll try to maintain my account. Okay, when I'm running a business, I'll have my cashier, okay, who will maintain my account. So that is the account as per my cashier, or if I'm maintaining it myself, that is the account as per me. Okay. So according to me, my bank balance is, now how do I get this bank balance from where? I get it from the cash book bank column. So my cash book bank column of my cash book gives me the balance carried down by balance carried down as say 1 lakh rupees. Okay, very simple to understand. You have done the cash book. We prepare the bank column there. So my bank column in my cash book on the credit side, I've balanced it as by balance carried down 1 lakh rupees. Now, next day, I get a statement from my banker. My banker also sends me statement from time to time, right? You must have seen the bank statement. So I get a bank statement, okay, which is also known as bank passbook. Okay, but your bank statement is also known as bank passbook. So the bank passbook or my bank statement sent by my HDFC banker, okay, it shows the balance as say 1,05,000. Now I'm talking about my balance only. So according to my cashier or according to myself or my, my bank column, my balance is 1 lakh and this he is showing 1,05,000 or maybe 90,000, whatever. So the two balances are different in spite of the fact that they are of the same thing. Okay, bank balance as per me should be the same as bank balance as per my banker. Now, why is this difference of 5,000 there? Okay, now this difference of 5,000 may be due to a number of reasons. And that is what we are trying to identify over here, that why is this difference of 5,000 appearing in the two balances, one balance as per my cash book bank column and one balance as per my banker. They should be same. So why this difference of 5,000? We'll try to locate the differences and what differences there are, I'll tell you. And then we'll try to reconcile that, okay, this 1 lakh is correct and this 1,05,000 is also correct. In due course of time, they'll be equal. Okay. Now, to understand this, that why there are differences. First of all, let's write the definition of bank reconciliation statement. Okay. So write bank reconciliation statement. Short form, I'll call it BRS. Okay. So bank reconciliation statement is a statement showing the reasons for differences in the bank balance as per cash book, which is maintained by the cashier, and passbook, which is maintained by the banker. Okay, so cash book में हम लिख देंगे in bracket for our own this thing we'll write cashier, and passbook के नीचे लिख देंगे हम banker, or passbook is another name for what you call as bank statement. So whether they call it bank statement or they call it passbook, it is one and the same thing. So usually one balance will be given to you and we'll have to reach to the other balance. Okay, the questions may as we move on to the questions. So that is a different thing. First of all, this is what a BRS is. Okay. Now, write one more line. Even if both the balances match, still it is necessary to prepare BRS. Okay. Still there can be some errors, some mistakes, or some differences which are compensated by each other. Okay. 5,000, one is showing more, or the other account is showing more due to some other entry. So both are showing 1,05,000, 1,05,000, but actual the difference is 10,000. Okay. But because they are in the same opposite direction, so they are matching. Okay. So even if both the balances match, still then it is necessary to prepare BRS. BRS is not the part of bookkeeping records. Okay, and therefore it does not have any format as such. Okay, no fixed format is there because it is not part of the formal bookkeeping records. It is just for our convenience, or say for our comfort we are preparing. Why? Because we don't want that, why is it happening that my banker is saying 1,05,000 is the balance, my cashier is saying 1 lakh. So, obviously I'd like to know that why this difference in the balance is there. So, although it is not a part of the formal bookkeeping system, there is no legal requirement for us to maintain a bank reconciliation statement, but still we maintain it because we want to be doubly assured that everything is in place, right? In today's world of frauds. So that is why we prepare this bank reconciliation statement, but it is not a part of the formal system of accounting. Okay. Now, come to this thing. Now, why this difference of 5,000 should be there? So, right, reasons for differences between balances as per cash book and passbook, or what you call as bank statement. Okay. First, just try to understand. Don't write anything. I'll make you write everything. So, what happens? See, try to just think of one transaction. When I issue a check to my creditor, okay. So today is what? Today is 29th of August. So today I give a check to my creditor of 10,000, or maybe of 5,000. I gave a check to my creditor of 5,000 today on 29th August. Okay. So what I'll do, I'll credit my bank column and my bank balance will go down because I have showed a payment. But the actual payment has not been done. Actual payment will take place when? When my creditor will go to his banker. And suppose I have a bank account in HDFC, and my creditor to whom I have given HDFC ka check, his account is in ICICI Bank. Now I have given a 5,000 ka check to my creditor. So as soon as I give a check to my creditor, I'll decrease my bank balance I'll credit my bank column by 5,000. So my bank balance has gone down by 5,000. Now look what is happening. This creditor of mine. Okay. Now he got the check and then he didn't have time to deposit that check into the bank, because he'll give to his banker and his banker will then approach my bank and the funds of 5,000 will be transferred to his bank. This is how the operation takes place in case of a check. है ना, आप किसी भी बैंक का चेक आप किसी को भी दे सकते हो, अपने बैंक का चेक आप किसी को भी दे सकते हो सकता है उस पर्सन का अकाउंट आपकी बैंक में ना हो. Then what will happen? You give the check to the creditor. I gave it to my creditor. My creditor's bank account is an ICICI. And next day he went for vacations and he didn't deposit this check into the bank. It was checks in hand for him. And then after a week when he came back, then he went to ICICI, deposited his check. Then his banker, presented the check to my banker. And then the payment was made. So what happened? On 29th August itself, my bank balance went down by 5,000 and he collected his amount on 7th September. On 7th September, actually my banker came to know that, okay, this payment has to be made. And now my banker on 7th September has reduced my balance by 5,000. Now, what if I wanted to check my balance at the end of August? So I wanted to check that 31st August ko mera kya balance hai? Right? What is my bank balance? So my banker will say, my cashier, I'll go to my cashier. My cashier will say your balance is 1 lakh rupees. I quickly call my banker to ask what is my bank balance. Banker भी तो बताएगा, ये तो मुझे cashier ने बताया. अभी banker को when I called, he told me on 31st August, your balance is 1,05,000. Now I wonder why this difference is there. So this difference is there because as soon as I issued a check, my cashier would have credited my cash book, bank column. But my banker will decrease my bank account, bank balance only on 7th September when he's actually making the payment to the creditor. So this is what you call as timing difference. Okay, don't write this example. Is it clear to all of you? Is it clear, Bacho Kavya? Is it clear? What is this timing difference? So just for a week, this difference of 5,000 would be there. But because I wanted to prepare my statement on 31st August, this difference will be there. Of course, on 7th September, it will be 1,05,000, 1,05,000 for both of them. So timing differences get reversed in due course of time because there is no error or no fraud involved. It is just the difference of the timing. एक ने पहले credit कर लिया, दूसरे ने अभी deduct नहीं किया. Now see, abhi I'm talking in terms of this thing, deduct and he has not deducted, he has not deducted. So we have to understand it in terms of debit and credit also. Abhi ye wala to story is clear. Now see what will happen. There is one problem that my banker and my cashier maintains my bank account just in the opposite way. Okay, that means, you know what, whenever my bank, this I'm talking about the cashier. Okay, let's say I'm talking about my cashier or account holder himself, cashier, and one is banker. Okay. Now timing difference तो हम उसके बाद आएंगे. पहले एक बात समझिए, इसको डेबिट और क्रेडिट के टर्म्स में समझना हमें जरूरी है because the transactions will be given in the terms of debit and credit, that kind of language. Now see, my cashier, or we always know that bank account when it increases is debited and bank account when it decreases is credited. That means whenever I receive a check, okay, receive something in my bank account, will increase, it will be debited. Whenever I make the payment, my bank account would be credited. But the opposite is on the part of banker because banker is keeping the books of accounts from his point of view. So whenever my bank balance increases, banker मुझे credit करेगा. And whenever my bank balance goes down, banker मुझे debit करेगा. ठीक है, तो ये तो basic concept है ये हमने पहले भी आपको बताया था कि अगर आप if you have a bank account, just see your statement, or if there are more frequent transactions in your parents' bank accounts, see their bank statement. So whenever, like, suppose your parents are, if suppose a salaried person is there, so when the salary will be, will be transferred to a person's account, his bank account would be credited. But what we have learned that when we receive something, the bank account is debited. So because my perspective and the banker's perspective is exactly opposite. Okay, so please remember that when my cashier debits, my banker credits. When my cashier credits my account, my banker would debit my account for the payments. Okay, this is the मतलब a basic thing. तो उससे कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा आपके transaction. This is not the reason for difference. Okay, this is just a basic fact we should know. Okay, now coming to the differences. So the first difference is clear. Let's write about it. So the first difference is reasons for difference. So you can write reasons for difference. That is what the heading we were writing under. I'll write it again. Reasons for difference in bank balance as per two things, cash book and passbook, CB and PB. Okay. Now, these are not the standard short forms. Please don't use them in exams. ठीक है, फिर वो हर जगह गोला गोला मारेगी मैम. So be careful. Don't use these. This is just for us to do in our while we are practicing it, just to increase our speed. Now, first is timing difference. Timing differences. Okay. So here we have got two differences. One is when it was 1 lakh as per my cashier and 1,05,000 as per my banker. Okay. So first we'll write this and then we'll write the other thing. So timing differences can be due to two reasons, right? A, checks issued but not presented by creditor for payment. है ना, हमने तो चेक इशू कर दिया था कब 29 अगस्त और उसने पेमेंट के लिए क्या प्रेजेंट किया 7 सितंबर को. ठीक है, और हमने अकाउंट स्टेटमेंट बना लेना था अपना 31 को. अगर हमने 8 को बनाते हम बैंक रिकंसिलिएशन स्टेटमेंट तो ये डिफरेंस नहीं आता, फिर वो मैच करते. लेकिन क्योंकि मुझे तो अपना स्टेटमेंट कट ऑफ डेट पे बनाना होगा, so generally bank reconciliation statement is made on a regular basis, maybe on a monthly basis or a quarterly basis. So whatever the cutoff date is, this cutoff date will always be given to you. This is known as your cutoff date, बच्चों. Cutoff date क्या होती है? Cutoff date is the date when you are preparing this BRS. So that date is very significant. जिस डेट पे आप बना रहे हो, क्योंकि अगर आपने ये 7 सितंबर को बनाया होता तो वो डिफरेंस नहीं आता, राइट? बट क्योंकि आपने उसको क्लियर होने से पहले ही बना लिया तो ये डिफरेंस आएगा. एक का 1 लाख होगा, एक का 1,05,000 होगा, and you know that there is no problem. Okay. So this is check issued but not presented by creditor for payment. So this, right, this is recorded, or you can say deducted, or you can say what you can say credited in cash book on the same day. But the banker debits our account only on the day when it is presented for payment. So till then, his account, banker's account will be showing more balance as compared to the cashier. Cashier ne show kiya 1 lakh, banker ka 1,05,000. So if we want to move from cash book to passbook balance, what we'll have to do? We'll have to add back this figure and we'll reach to the passbook balance. And if I have to go from, if the passbook balance is given to me and this mistake is given to me, so I'll have to deduct it to reach to the cashier's balance. Okay, so it will depend upon whether the cash book balance is given to you and you have to reach to the passbook balance, or the passbook balance is given to you and you have to reach to the cash book balance. So it will depend upon that whether you have to add that figure or you have to deduct that figure. So anything can be given to you. Different questions will be there. So sometimes you'll be given the passbook balance and then you have to reach to the cash book balance, or the cash book balance and then you have to reach to the passbook balance. So 1 lakh में 5,000 add करना है, या 1 lakh 5,000 में से 5,000 minus करना है to reach the other party. That will depend on the question. So if you have to reach from cash book to passbook, you'll have to add this figure. If from passbook to cash book, you'll have to deduct this. Now moving on to the B part of this timing difference. B, checks deposited into bank but not yet cleared. Okay. Now, just try to understand. Don't write away. Don't write, please. Just try to understand. Suppose my cashier, okay, got a check from debtor. He got a check from debtor of 10,000. Okay. Now, what he did is the same day, the very same day, he sent it to the banker. This check which he received, he sent it to the bank. ओके तो जैसे ही उसने चेक को सेंड किया बैंकर को, हम क्या करते हैं? इफ द चेक received is sent to the banker the same day, what do? We debit the bank account. ओके तो उसने क्या किया? कैशियर ने जैसे ही उसे भेजा चेक को, 40 से उसने उसी दिन he debited bank account. So bank column would be debited. No checks in hand because the same day we have banked it. So bank account would be debited, bank column in the cash book. Now my banker will not immediately, increase my balance. So what the cashier has done, he has increased the balance by 10,000. Now my banker will not increase it immediately. He will first get it cleared. Suppose my debtor had a bank account in PNB bank. He gave me a PNB bank का चेक. तो मेरा तो अभी बैंकर कहाँ का है? HDFC का है. तो मैंने अपने बैंकर को चेक भेजा. HDFC वाले ने PNB को, ये PNB से कांटेक्ट करेगा and then the funds will be transferred 10,000 to my account. So it will take a day or two. Okay. तो उस केस में क्या होगा? जब ये चेक क्लियर होगा, only then my banker is going to increase my bank account. Or let's say he is going to credit my bank account. है ना? बैंकर इंक्रीज करता है, क्या करता है? वो बैंकर क्रेडिट करता है हमारे अकाउंट. ऑपोजिट होता है हमारा. सो उसने सपोज ये मैंने 29 अगस्त को मुझे तो मिल गया था चेक, लेकिन इसको क्लियर करते करते 2 सितंबर हो गया और 31 अगस्त को मैंने अकाउंट स्टेटमेंट बना लेना BRS. तो वो तो डिफरेंस, तो मैंने बैलेंस चेक किया 31 अगस्त को, कट ऑफ डेट को, तो मेरे कैशियर का बैलेंस ज्यादा था. इट वाज 1,10,000. एज पर माय कैशियर इट वाज 1,10,000. एज पर माय बैंकर इट वाज 1 lakh only. So again, now my cashier is saying more balance, whereas my banker is saying only 1 lakh. So where did this 10,000 go? So this 10,000 is this check which has been added by my cashier, but has not been added by the banker, which has been debited by my cashier, but has not been credited so far by my banker. Clear? Debit and credit aspect also, increase and decrease, debit and credit. Both the things should be clear. Because sometimes the language used would be increase and decrease, added and subtracted. And sometimes they'll say that he debited, he didn't debit, he credited, he didn't credit. So both the aspects should be clear. बताओ समझ में आ रहा है? Okay, so now what I'm doing is, now let's write what we have just understood. So now I'll make you write So before that, let me just erase it. Anybody who's not understood this part? So these, both the transactions were more or less similar and very, very common and important transaction. ये तो पक्का ही आते bank reconciliation statement. But you have to be careful. The complicacy of the language will increase. Okay, so BRS is more a test of your English language also, apart from the concept. तो यही रहेगा, but इसी को अलग-अलग language में put करके देंगे. Okay, so we'll see how the language will change. So, right, checks received and bank are debited by cashier the same day. Due to which, what will happen? Bank balance will increase. While or whereas the banker credits or increases our bank balance only when he has collected the payment, which may take some time. है ना, उसने भी 2 सितंबर को तो बैंकर ने भी हमारा बैलेंस बढ़ा देना है, लेकिन 2 सितंबर तक डिफरेंस रहेगा दोनों अकाउंट के बैलेंसेस में. Cashier will show 1,10,000, banker will show 1 lakh. Why? Because banker has not increased our balance. He has not credited our account till he gets the check cleared, till he receives the payment from the this PNB bank. Okay, so this is why this transaction is there. So number 2 difference, we have done timing differences. Okay, number 2 difference, the main cause of difference is ये तो नाम से ही समझ में आ जाएगा. Transactions.
The previous slide once.
Yeah, sure.
Yes, ma'am.
Anybody else wants me to wait? Transactions.
Ma'am, could you go to the previous
Recorded. Somebody was saying something?
Yeah, could you go to the previous slide?
Sure, sure. Okay. So in case I don't listen for any reason, you can just send me on chat, okay? If any particular slide you have missed.
Yeah, thank you.
And so whenever the bank balance increases, the banker credits it or debits it.
Repeat your question, Rehan.
Whenever the bank balance increases, the banker credits it or?
Yes, yes. See, our bank balance, whenever my cashier debits my bank account, my bank balance increases. Whenever my banker credits my bank account, it increases. So it is opposite. My cashier would debit, my banker would credit. That would be same thing. Okay, that would be same. Whenever I receive the check, suppose it is cleared on the same day. It is collected on the same day, Rehan. Then what will happen? My banker would credit my account. My cashier would debit my account. So of course, a debit and credit thing would be there. See, when I say this balances, bacho, the 2 balances, this is of course, by nature, it is different. Like when I said 1 lakh and 1,10,000. Where is that example? Did I rub it? Yeah. So this will be debit balance as per my cash book, debit balance as per cash book. And this would be credit balance as per cash book. Okay, as per passbook. So of course that debit or credit ka to opposite rahega. They are equal and opposite, no? Clear, Rehan?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
yeah. See, abhi ye wala point bhi bahut important. I'll come to that point only now after we write these differences. Okay, or maybe what you do is to clear this thing, leave 2 sheets, bacho, and write this thing because I'm just moving on to this confusion, which will be in many students' minds. Let's understand first the debit and the credit wala concept. leave 2 pages and write this. See, positive bank balance, positive balance, positive bank balance as per cash book would be a debit balance. ठीक है ना? But मैंने बताया ना, bank column can have credit balance also, it can have debit balance also. In cash book, the cash column can never have credit balance, but the bank column can have credit balance also, which is known as bank overdraft. And negative bank balance as per this sheet is going to be the most important one for this chapter. Whenever you have confusion, you are going to refer to this sheet. बच्चों ये वाला ही confusion होएगा debit credit का. So negative bank balance as per cash book would what you call is as debit balance. What is the other name for this? It is bank overdraft. Bank overdraft. ठीक है. अभी ये लिख लिया. अब let's talk about the passbook part.
Can you
Yes.
repeat this again?
Yes, I'll repeat it. Just copy it first and then I'll repeat it. It's very simple. It is
Okay,
very
ma'am.
simple. It is just because I'm writing it that way, you'll feel कि oh, I'm getting confused. Okay, don't worry, just write it. बहुत hard समझने की I mean, if you'll try to understand it, giving a lot of stress to yourself, you will not understand. Easily, आराम से समझ में आए. ठीक है? रुको, पहले लिख लो. Positive balance, bank balance as per passbook would be dash balance. Okay. Negative bank balance as per passbook would be dash balance. Fill up करो. So अगर मेरा बैंकर मुझे भेजता है positive would be a credit balance. Negative would be a debit balance. And this negative balance is known as what? Bank overdraft. बैंक ओवरड्राफ्ट. ठीक है ना? नेगेटिव बैलेंस अगर बैंक अकाउंट का हुआ तो वो बैंक ओवरड्राफ्ट ही कहलाता है. लेकिन एज पर बैंकर इट वुड बी डेबिट बैलेंस. Yes. So Suparnika, what happens is, as I told you, whenever my bank balance is increasing, okay, I received something. I received a check. Received check. Okay. So received check का क्या transaction होता है? बैंक अकाउंट को हम क्या करते हैं? Suparnika, बताओ हम क्या करते हैं? बैंक अकाउंट को डेबिट करते हैं? Whenever we
Yes,
receive
ma'am.
the check. But my banker beta, whenever he receives check on my behalf, he is going to credit my balance. So whenever my balance is increased, my cashier debits my account and my banker credits my account. है इसका भी increase ही. बैंक बैलेंस इंक्रीज जब भी हो रहा है, मेरा कैशियर डेबिट कर रहा है उसे, लेकिन मेरा बैंकर क्रेडिट कर रहा है सेम चीज को, क्योंकि वो अपने पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से एंट्री रिकॉर्ड कर रहा है. उसके लिए जितना भी मेरा क्रेडिट बैलेंस है ना, इज अ लायबिलिटी फॉर हिम. ही हैज टू पे दैट अमाउंट टू मी. Okay, so banker, just check your parents' bank statement today. Whenever they would have received something in the bank account would have been credited. Credit. ज्यादातर debits होता है वैसे. क्यों? क्योंकि हम payments कर रहे होते हैं. Sometimes we're paying the electricity bill, the rent, or the insurance premium, or there are so many charges which we pay through bank. So every time we are doing shopping, my banker is going to debit my. Because see, in usual practice, or say at your home, you must have seen the bank statement only, which has been sent by the banker. अपना bank account कौन maintain करता है? अपने आप से तो नहीं करते ना. Your parents don't maintain their own cash book. Okay. So what we get is the bank statement. तो कई बार when I start with that entry, no, we debit the bank account in your journal chapter. वहां पे बहुत बच्चों का कंफ्यूजन आता है कि मैम आई सॉ माय फादर्स स्टेटमेंट, सो the whatever has been received has been credited. Okay, so that is the reason I told you there, this concept I had explained it there also, that this is what happens. So today I request all of you to pick up your parents' bank statement and see that whenever any payment has been done, ओके आपने चाहे क्रेडिट कार्ड के बिल का पेमेंट किया है, चाहे ऑनलाइन कोई ट्रांसफर किया है, तो बैंक अकाउंट डेबिट किया हुआ होगा, क्योंकि बैंकर हमको डेबिट करता है जब भी वो पेमेंट करता है, जबकि हमारा कैशियर हमको क्रेडिट करता है जब भी वो पेमेंट करता है. Okay, so from there only, Soparnika, we are having this concept, which I just told you, that bank balance as positive bank balance as per cash book would be a debit balance. Because my bank balance is an asset, na beta. Soparnika, it is an asset, and
Yes,
assets
ma'am.
have a debit balance, right? But when I make more payments from my bank account than the balance which I have, it gets converted into credit balance, or what you call as bank overdraft. मेरे पास bank balance था 10,000 rupees. I made a payment of 12,000 rupees. Now what will happen? I can do that because bank provides me a facility called bank overdraft, where I can overdraw, I can make the payments more than my bank balance. And that is why it will become 10,000 you had bank balance, 12,000 का पेमेंट किया तो क्या हो गया, -2,000 हो गया ना. तो अभी हम अकाउंटिंग में उसे -2,000 नहीं बोलते हैं, हम उसे बोलते हैं 2,000 क्रेडिट. ओके सुपर्णिका.
Yes, ma'am.
And similarly, it is just the opposite for the passbook. So if it is positive balance, it will be a credit balance. If it is negative balance, it will be a debit balance as per the bank statement. So this will be our beginning point, bachcho. Ye sheet बहुत important hai. So make it, maybe you can just fold it so that whenever you have confusion, you will see this positive balance, negative balance, credit balance, debit balance as per cashier, as per banker, as per cash book, as per passbook. So that, because that will be my starting point from where I have to reach which balance. Okay, now coming back to these 2 pages which you had left. This because Rehan asked me this question, so I thought it is better to discuss that first. Okay, now transactions recorded by the bank, but not by account holder. And who's account holder? Basically, we are account holder. That is my cashier. You can say cashier. मतलब अकाउंट होल्डर तो हम हैं, लेकिन हमारे बुक्स कौन मेंटेन कर रहा है, कैशियर मेंटेन कर रहा है. The transactions reported by the bank but not by the account holder or the cashier. Now see, there are certain transactions, when we are into business or in the normal life also. What happens, suppose I have my bank account with the HDFC Bank, so I know that my electricity bill I have to pay on 1st of every month, and a fixed amount, say 5,000. Approximate, say my bill is 5,000 or 10,000, I have an idea, and I give standing instructions to my banker that first of every month, you pay to the electricity company 10,000 on my behalf. Give them a check or maybe a direct online transfer you have to do. So what will happen? My banker will say after making the payment that your bank account is showing a balance of 90,000. My cashier says, no, it is 1 lakh. Why? Because my banker made the payment directly. So he knew that this payment has been made. He will, decrease my bank balance immediately. He will debit my account, but my cashier didn't know about this payment. So he has not credited my account. So my cashier, my cash book is showing 1 lakh balance, and my passbook is showing 90,000 balance on, say, 1st September.
Ma'am,
Hmm.
ma'am, like usually when you give standing instructions, say for electricity bill, don't we also get a copy of the receipt? So we will
Definitely we'll get. But when do I come to know? See, if there are very big, huge amount transactions, then though I'll get the intimation immediately. Okay, but say for a payment of 500 rupees or 1,000 rupees, or maybe, smaller amounts, I won't get the intimation of the banker immediately. I'll come to know of these expenses only when I get my statement. See, we're talking about the business from the business perspective. Okay, so although बच्चों आज के time पे it has become so quick, everything is done online, all the intimations are sent online. Okay, so that ways, we come to know of the transactions quickly. Okay, but yeah, conceptually, any payment which has been directly made by the banker, immediately he has deducted from our bank balance. which have not been still deducted by the cashier. So talking about that aspect that everything has, really sped up now, we are not, I mean, that's fine. It is there, but conceptually this difference exists because of these things. Or say insurance premium. So insurance premium has to be paid, say on the first day of every month. So insurance premium will be paid by the banker and he'll decrease my balance, but my cashier won't. Similarly, there are certain, बैंक चार्जेस. बैंक चार्जेस जैसे आपने बोला अनन्या, ये तो आपके स्टैंडिंग इंस्ट्रक्शंस के अंडर है, तो हमें भी पता चलता है. बट बैंक चार्जेस हैं. अब किसी चीज के बैंक चार्जेस हुए, डीडी वगैरह के बैंक चार्जेस, कई बार ओवरलुक हो जाते हैं. एंड व्हाट हैपेंस, दीज बैंक चार्जेस, द बैंकर, बिकॉज दीज बैंक चार्जेस आर चार्ज्ड बाय हिम, so he'll deduct from our account immediately. But my cashier will not deduct these because he does not know that bank has debited this amount from our account. Getting it? So bank charges are levied. What are bank charges? Bank charges are the charges which are levied by the banker. Okay. So say locker charges. We have a locker with the bank. And each quarterly, he deducts his payment of 3,000 every quarter. So every quarter he deducted this, our cashier overlooked it, and then he didn't decrease our, right? So these kind of many transactions can be there, right? So now we are writing this difference. So these are the and similarly, there can be some direct payments by the debtors into our account. My debtor, what he did, he directly went to my bank and deposited a check there in my name. And now my banker increased my balance. I didn't even know that the banker has made the payment. Okay. Sometimes this happens with me actually. The parents would, transfer the amount to my account. And I wouldn't know that this amount, if they don't send say an intimation to me, either parents, okay. So I wouldn't know that the fee has been credited to my account. Okay, but it would have been credited. And I'll come to know of that only when I get the bank statement. So there are many payments which are directly paid into our bank account, which the cashier, the account holder doesn't know. So of course, he'll come to know when the statement is received. But till that time, if in between we are preparing this bank reconciliation statement and I try to calculate my bank balance as per myself and the bank balance as per my banker, if I just call him and ask my bank balance, it'll be different, right? So these are the transactions. They can be both plus and minus. Amount received by the banker directly or amount paid by the banker directly, which I don't know. I mean, which cashier don't know or which account holder doesn't know. So, इसमें क्या-क्या transactions आ रही हैं? Just write it so that it will be easier for you to identify. Interest credited by bank. Now, bank will credit it only when it's increasing our account. Okay, that means this is the interest received by us. B, bank charges and interest charged by bank. C, and not recorded in the cash book, of course. If it is recorded in the cash book also, suppose by chance I came to know the same day, then of course there'll be no mismatch. Interest and dividends collected by bank. Now see, suppose I've got some FDs made, okay, and the amount is being, increased or credited by my banker directly into my account without my knowledge, okay. Or if I've got shares of some, say Reliance, and I'm getting the dividend on those shares, so that dividend would be credited or sent directly to my account. So my account will increase by my banker, but I don't know. So that difference would be there. D, direct payments by the bank. Understanding instructions. like pay my electricity bill, pay my insurance premium, some kinds of, fixed expenses.
Ma'am, but won't the cashier be informed about the direct payments then?
Not immediately. Okay, he is informed through when the bank statement will arrive. So bank statement will arrive in due course of time. तब तो वो भी रिकॉर्ड कर लेगा जैसे ही उसको पता चलेगा. अगर उसको पहले पता चल गया है ना, तो वो पहले ही रिकॉर्ड कर लेगा. Definitely, banker will intimate the cashier, no, of all these transactions. Definitely, he'll intimate. So, if he gets the intimation, he'll also increase. But till this time gap, in this time gap, if I'm preparing this statement, then the difference will, difference will be seen by me. I'll wonder why the banker is having a higher balance and my cashier is showing a lower balance. Why? Because banker received the payment and he increased my bank account. But my cashier doesn't even know that this payment has been received from a credit debtor. And so he has not increased. Yeah, in due course of time, in a week or two, he will also receive the intimation. He'll also receive the statement and then he'll also going to increase the bank balance. So due course of time में तो इसीलिए इनको timing difference बोलते हैं. कुछ time में दोनों ही equal हो जाना है. But till that happens, in that gap period, they will show different balances. So direct deposits in the account, in the bank account. किसी डेटर ने डायरेक्ट डिपॉजिट करवा दिया बैंक अकाउंट में, मुझे पता ही नहीं है. F dishonor of bill discounted. Now this is very interesting and see, try to understand. Okay, first write all the points and then I'll explain you this one. You just write it in this dishonor. Before writing the next point, just write it dishonor of a bill discounted. If bank doesn't receive the payment against check or bill discounted, it will immediately को उसमें लिखना कैपिटल को, immediately debit the bank account. Debit का मतलब क्या है? और decrease it. Decrease it. Along with bank charges. But the cashier would record it only at later date when intimated by the okay. And what is the dishonor? We know that suppose I received a check from debtor. So my debtor is Mr. Debtor. So Mr. Debtor gave me a check of 50,000, right? Which is a post-dated check. And I want the amount now itself. So I'll go to the banker and ask him, request him to give me 49,000. 1,000 I'll ask him to keep for himself. And then I'll tell him that 3 months from now, Mr. Debtor will pay you 50,000 for a post-dated check. Now what happens? He gave me 49,000. And then 3 months later, the debtor refused to pay this amount. So banker is not going to bear this loss. What will he do? He will credit my bank account. He'll debit my bank account. He'll immediately reduce 50,000 from my account. Right? So that is what is known as dishonor of a bill discounted. So discounting of a post-dated check is what we're talking about here. You know, discounting means what happens if I'm going to receive payment after 3 months. It is a post-dated check of 3 months, but I want the amount now. So what I go to my banker and request him that please discount it. आप थोड़ा अपना commission काट लो, अपना interest cost काट लो 3 months का, because you're giving me the money now and you will get the money only after 3 months. और उसके अलावा जो risk involved है, जो जैसा कि it may get dishonor. So he'll deduct that commission and give me remaining 49,000. 3 months later, he'll go to the debtor and collect the payment. If the debtor pays, everything is fine. No dispute, no arguments. But if the debtor refuses, then what will the banker do? Banker के पास तो मेरा bank account है ही ना, वो तो वहीं के वहीं काट लेगा मेरे bank account में से पैसा. He has my bank account in his hands. So he'll deduct. He's not going to bear that loss of 50,000. तो 1,000 उसने कमीशन भी रख लिया और अभी भी 50,000 से मुझे वापस मेरे अकाउंट को कम कर दिया, क्योंकि 1,000 तो उसका टाइम चार्जेस, बेसिकली इंटरेस्ट चार्जेस. Bank charges again he may charge, depending upon what kind of dispute is. Because see what happens, you know, when a check gets dishonored or a bill gets dishonored, we have to go to the notary public to get it, you know, noted. He'll put a stamp on that, and that is an evidence that, okay, this check has been dishonored. So for that also, he'll have to put in an effort, and, you know, that formal process is there. So he may even charge more. So 50,000, maybe he'll deduct from my account 50,000, he'll debit me. Apart from that, 500 another for bank charges. So he will deduct how much? 50,500 from my account, which my banker, my cashier didn't know. So cashier will come to know only 5 days after he is intimated. So till that 50,500 ka difference rahega. Bank charges plus that dishonor of the bill. Okay.
Can you please go back to the previous slide?
Yeah, sure. This one? No.
No, ma'am, where you had written. Yes, ma'am.
And the last one, G. Bills collected by bank directly on behalf of the customer. Bills collected by the bank directly on behalf of the customer. So again, the same, I hope you can understand it. क्योंकि directly उसने collect किया है तो banker has increased my balance, but my cashier has not increased. So cashier का balance will be lower, banker का balance will be higher. Okay, and then of course the third part is the errors. The third difference. So we've done the timing difference, and then we did these transactions wherein one party has recorded, the other has not recorded. Bank has recorded, but the cashier hasn't recorded. And now the third major reason of difference is errors, of course. Now see, errors can happen at any place. Maybe the errors are done by the cashier or the errors are done by the banker. Okay, so those errors we'll have to check. Now, what kind of errors can our cashier do? Like, while totaling or while balancing, he balanced it wrongly. Okay. और he undercast, यहाँ पे हमारी दो चीजें आती हैं, undercast and overcast. What is the meaning of casting in accounting? No. I have discussed. That is posting. Transferring the entry. No. ये तो कोई होता ही नहीं है. New step Sukriti has added. Transferring the entries from the ledger to the trial balance. There is nothing. Transferring the entry from journal to ledger is known as posting, बच्चों. ठीक है? And putting the entry in the journal is known as recording. And then we do balancing. Okay. Then what does this cast means? Casting का क्या मतलब होता है? Casting का मतलब होता है totaling करना. Cast in accounting over here means adding it, summing it up. So when we have to make see the total, because to find out the balance, what we have to do, we have to take the debit side ka total, and then from that we deduct the credit side ka total. Or if the credit side is heavier in case of bank column, we take the credit side minus the debit side. Okay, so sometimes your balance, so actually your debit side was 1 lakh and your credit was say 95,000. So your balance should have been 5,000. But my mistake, what my cashier did, he wrote it as 5,000. He wrote it as 5,000. So what happened? He wrote it as 500. 5,000 तो ठीक होता ना. 5,000 अगर इसने balance किया होता, 5,000 debit balance, तो ठीक होता. But उसने क्या कर दिया? एक zero को omit कर दिया. So my balance, how much my bank column is showing now? Instead of 5,000, it's showing 500 as my debit balance. That means there is an error of 4,500. My bank account should have been higher by 4,500. So if it is undercast, I'll have to add it. If it is overcast, I'll have to deduct it. है ना? Under total हो गया है, तो हमें increase करना पड़ेगा total को, correct total पे लाना पड़ेगा, 4,500 add करना पड़ेगा. और अगर हमने उसको ज्यादा दिखा दिया है, तो we'll have to deduct it, right? So this is how the errors can be there, these kind of errors, and how will we rectify them? How will we, correct them? And then that is it. So now this error can be from the side of the banker as well. So जिसका भी error होगा, उसके according हम उसको correct करेंगे. Okay, so we have seen, I'm just repeating, summarizing what we've done. So we talked about bank reconciliation statement, which basically tries to explain that why my bank balance as per cash book is different from bank balance as per passbook. And we noted that there are certain reasons for these differences. Number one was timing differences. Number two was the transactions recorded by the banker alone. Transactions recorded only by banker. Okay, I mean by banker till now. Let's not say only by banker till now. Till now means till the cutoff date. And number three are the errors, which can be on both sides, maybe the cashier, maybe the banker. And it can be undercast, overcast, or maybe while carrying forward the total from one page to another, you made a mistake. Okay. So this is the difference. And now let's move on to the questions. And of course, we are going to do the presentation part. I'll tell you later on. First, let's try to understand the concept. Try to do the questions plus minus करके एक बार concept समझ में आ जाएगा, फिर presentation बताएंगे. वैसे formal bookkeeping system का part नहीं है BRS, and therefore there is no formal presentation. But yes, from exam point of view, we have to present it in a particular manner so that we learn presentation. First, try to understand the concept. Let's do some questions. This is very interesting. Okay. Come to page number. I hope everybody has got the book. If not, let me know. I'll share the questions. Come to the practical problems. Page number 13.50 of the new edition. T.S. Grewal, 24 edition. Yes, anybody not having the book, let me know. I'll quickly click the picture and send it to you. Kavya, we have the book.
Yes, ma'am.
Devansh,
Yes, ma'am.
because when I ask you to read the question, then I come to know that who has not got the book. So let's start with question number 1. Some questions I'll do. Once you get hold of it, then I'll ask you to do. अभी मैं पूरा proper format में नहीं करवा रही हूँ. आपको स्कूल में जिन्होंने किया है वो proper format में करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं, तो ना भी करें तब भी चलेगा. First understand the concept. Then putting it in that format will be very easy. Won't be a problem. Only thing is you should know whether it is to be added or deducted. Okay. Okay. So first one is prepare bank reconciliation statement for the following. So I'm not preparing bank reconciliation statement. I'm just trying to reach to the balance. So what we have been given is the debit balance as per the cash book. Now debit balance as per the cash book means positive balance. Okay. So positive है, कितना है? 30,000. ठीक है. अभी क्योंकि मुझे कैश बुक का बैलेंस दे रखा है बच्चों, मुझे पासबुक के बैलेंस तक जाना होगा. नहीं, वो क्रेडिट बैलेंस होगा, जो डेबिट बैलेंस होगा अपने आप आंसर में आ जाएगा. But what I'm trying to tell you, if cash book balance is given to me, I have to reach to the passbook ka balance. So this is my starting point. 30,000 is my starting point. Now what happened? Number 1, checks deposited but not cleared. Check deposited. So what my cashier did? My cashier immediately increased. Debited, very good if you can think in terms of debit and credit, very nice. But even if we don't, काम चलेगा, पहले concept समझ लेते हैं. So my cashier, what he did, as soon as the check was deposited, he increased the balance. But not cleared. My banker has not collected the payment only. So my banker's balance would be lesser, no? So I'll have to deduct it from this because I have to now reach to passbook balance. So उसका balance तो कम होगा ना, तो वो minus कर लेते हैं 2,000. समझ में आया? पहले बताओ सबको समझ में आया? Give me a thumbs up if you have understood it. Otherwise I'll repeat it again. Quickly give me a thumbs up if you've understood. I'll repeat it again. Okay, see, bachon, this was check deposited but not cleared. So what happened? We received a check from our debtor and the cashier immediately sent it to the bank. And as soon as he sent it to the bank, what we do? If we don't bank it the same day, then we pass the entry in the journal proper as checks in hand. But if we have deposited it, we'll quickly debit our bank account. In the cash book, we'll go and debit our bank account. तो उसने क्या किया? बैलेंस को बढ़ा लिया है. बट अभी तक क्लियर नहीं हुआ है, मतलब कि बैंकर का बैलेंस तो कम है ना, तो हमें तो बैंकर के बैलेंस तक जाना है, तो हमें ये माइनस कर लेना है फिर. Because we are trying to reach the banker's balance, so we'll do exactly what the banker has done and reverse what the cashier has done. Now, second transaction is check issued, but not presented for payment. अब बैंकर को तो मिला ही नहीं, बैंकर ने पेमेंट नहीं किया, but not presented to the banker. तो जैसे ही कैशियर ने चेक दिया अपने क्रेडिटर को, listen to me, as soon as the cashier gives the check to the creditor, he will reduce the bank balance. But the banker has not reduced. Why? Because he has not made the payment. So his balance is at a higher figure. He has not shown this payment only. So we'll add it back. So 3,000 will be added back. And then the third transaction. बैंक इंटरेस्ट। तो बैंक इंटरेस्ट में क्या होता है, बैंकर को तो पता है बैंक इंटरेस्ट मिला है हमें, है ना, तो बैंकर तो हमारे अकाउंट को बढ़ा लेगा, बट कैशियर ने तो नहीं बढ़ाया है और हमें तो बैंकर के बैलेंस तक जाना है, तो इसको हम ऐड कर देंगे। बैंक इंटरेस्ट रिसीव्ड, बैंक चार्ज नहीं है, बैंक इंटरेस्ट which the banker has given us. So what has happened, my banker has added that to my account, but my cashier has not. So because I have to reach to the banker's balance, I'm adding it. So this will become how much? Minus plus 31,400. 31,400 आ गया हमारा, देखो आंसर आ गया ना 31,400. So we've got the पासबुक का बैलेंस. तो अभी आज के दिन अगर मैं अपने बैंकर को फोन करूंगी तो बैंकर विल से योर अकाउंट बैलेंस इज 31,400. And if I ask my cashier, tell me the balance, he'll say 30,000. So there's difference of 1,400. But then negative and positive, everything is there. Okay, let's do one more question. Question number 2. Ramesh has his account with SBI. According to his cash book, his bank balance on 2024 was 72,950. Now again, the cash book balance is given. So balance as per cash book is given to me. How much? 72,950. Now, obviously, now I have to reach to the, cash book से मुझे passbook balance पे जाना है. Because the cash book balance, if my starting point cash book, definitely I'll have to go to the passbook balance. Abhi, he sent checks for 90,075 to his bank for collection, but checks amounting to 43,769 were not collected by that date. क्या करेंगे तो? देखो बच्चों, एक बेसिक चीज समझिए, अगर कोई ट्रांजैक्शन दोनों ही पार्टीज ने पास कर ली है तो फिर कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है ना. एक ने भी बढ़ा दिया, दूसरे ने भी बढ़ा दिया, तो फिर इक्वल आ गया ना अपने आप ही. एक ने बढ़ाया पर दूसरे ने नहीं बढ़ाया, तब प्रॉब्लम है ना. तो देखो यहाँ पे 43,769 के ही चेक्स ऐसे हैं जो कि बैंकर ने कलेक्ट नहीं किए, तो कैशियर ने तो इनको भी तो ऐड कर लिया था. But only 43,769 is the amount which the banker has not increased. So why don't we just increase this 43,769? Why you want to take the difference, Priyanka? कुछ भी दो फिगर्स हैं तो उनका कुछ तो करना ही है. क्योंकि आपको दो फिगर्स दिख रही है तो ऐसे कैसे हो कि हम उनको कुछ यूज ना करें. हाँ, तो जो कलेक्ट नहीं हुआ है वो ही तो डिफरेंस क्रिएट कर रहा है. उस बैंक ने नहीं बढ़ाया है. हमने टोटल इतने चेक्स भेजे, उनमें से इतने अनकलेक्टेड रहे, तो अनकलेक्टेड वाले ही तो डिफरेंस कर रहे हैं क्रिएट. आप उन दोनों की डिफरेंस वाली फिगर से क्यों, वो तो वो फिगर है जो कि दोनों ने ही बढ़ा दिया है. इन दोनों का डिफरेंस अगर आप लोगे सुप्रीति,
हमने डेबिट किया है पर उन्होंने कुछ नहीं किया.
हाँ, तो हमने भी अब ऐड कर दिया
माइनस करेंगे
कैश बुक. हाँ, हमने उसको माइनस करेंगे लेकिन अमाउंट ये रहेगा. दैट इज व्हाट आई वांटेड टू से, बिकॉज प्रियंका सेड वील टेक द डिफरेंस. ओके, वील डिडक्ट दिस फिगर फॉर श्योर, बट नॉट 90,000 और उसका डिफरेंस नहीं, सीधा सीधा यही करो ना माइनस. आई एम रिपीटिंग इट अगेन बच्चों, लिसन टू मी केयरफुली. He sent checks for 90,075 to his bank for collection, but checks amounted to 43,769 were not collected by that day. ये कलेक्ट नहीं हुए हैं, उसका मतलब बाकी जो चेक्स है 90,075 माइनस 43,769 वो तो दोनों ने ही कलेक्ट कर लिए ना. बैंकर ने भी कलेक्ट कर लिए, उसने भी बढ़ा दिए होंगे, और कैशियर ने तो पहले ही बढ़ा रखे थे. तो सिर्फ 43,769 is that figure which is creating the difference. Cashier has increased this also, but the banker has not increased, and therefore we are decreasing it because we have to reach to the reduced balance of the banker. So only this figure, not the difference. Sometimes we'll take the difference also. अभी आगे जाएंगे, language change होगी लेकिन. That is why I told you it is more a test of your English language. हाँ? Concept तो एक वही है. Okay. Now, out of the check issued by him. Now, see बच्चों, एक तो ये समझो, check issued मतलब those which we have given to our creditors for payment. And check received is which I am receiving from my debtors. ठीक है ना? तो ये जो लैंग्वेज है ये है चेक इशूड, जो हमने पेमेंट करनी है क्रेडिटर्स को, और चेक रिसीव्ड और चेक डिपॉजिटेड और चेक रिसीव्ड फ्रॉम द डेटर्स इज द अमाउंट व्हिच वी आर रिसीविंग. नाउ out of the check issued by him in payment of his debts, check of 29,40344 were not presented for payment. अभी कैशियर ने तो क्या किया, जैसे ही चेक इशू किए उसने रिड्यूस कर दिया बैलेंस, लेकिन बैंकर को अभी प्रेजेंट ही नहीं हुए हैं पेमेंट करने के लिए. बैंकर डजंट हैव knowledge that these checks have been issued. The creditors have not brought it to them for payment. So the banker has not made the payment of these check 29,344. So his balance is more. So we will add it because ये तो अभी तक बैंकर ने पेमेंट किया ही नहीं है, तो उसका बैलेंस तो ज्यादा है, तो वो ऐड हो जाएगा. तो अभी निकाल लो ऐड प्लस करके. Five 58,525. This is what I call as balance as per passbook. और वैसे अगर ये बोलना चाहो तो ये हमारा डेबिट बैलेंस था, ये डेबिट बैलेंस था एज पर कैश बुक, और ये आया मेरा क्रेडिट बैलेंस एज पर पासबुक. अगर ये नेगेटिव आ जाता ना फिगर, तो हम उसको बोलते हैं डेबिट बैलेंस एज पर पासबुक. ठीक है, वो दोनों ही इक्विवेलेंट होंगे, ओवरड्राफ्ट हो जाता वो. ठीक है, अभी डेबिट क्रेडिट के चक्कर में मत पड़िए, अभी एड लेस करना सीखिए. ठीक है. Okay, so some of you might be feeling a bit uncomfortable. Don't worry. Don't think so hard. Take it easy and keep on doing the questions. चलो, कहीं ना कहीं समझ में आएगा, और सब कुछ समझ में आने के बाद भी फिर से कुछ बेसिक एरर हो जाएगा आपसे. ठीक है ना? Because this is very even I have to every time read the transaction add होगा less होगा, सोचना पड़ता है. ठीक है, तो सब बहुत सारे क्वेश्चंस करने के बाद में भी इफ यू आर नॉट केयरफुल एट दैट मोमेंट, इफ यू आर नॉट फीलिंग पूरा अच्छे से दिमाग एक्टिव नहीं है, तो मिस्टेक होती है बैंक रिकंसिलिएशन स्टेटमेंट. तो जब भी प्रैक्टिस करो, जब मॉर्निंग में एकदम फ्रेश दिमाग चल रहा हो ना, तब इसका प्रैक्टिस करना. एकदम थके हुए हो तब बीआरएस मत उठाना, बाकी टॉपिक्स हो जाएंगे, बट बीआरएस में क्योंकि सिर्फ एड लेस करना है, तो इट्स वेरी कंफ्यूजिंग. ऐड करना है, लेस करना है. क्वेश्चन 3. On 31st December 2023, bank column of the cash book of Gurman. Now, bank column of cash book. That means, again, we have been given the balance as per cash book. And we have to move to balance as per. So, we are moving from cash book to passbook again. This is what we have to find out. So, this is given to me as 12,000. ये cash book का balance है. अभी उसके बाद क्या हुआ, बट द पासबुक शोड अ डिफरेंट बैलेंस. कितना बैलेंस था हमें नहीं पता, अभी निकालना है. नाउ नंबर 1, चेक्स पेड इनटू बैंक 8,000, बट आउट ऑफ दीज ओनली चेक्स ऑफ 6,500 वर क्रेडिटेड बाय द बैंक. मतलब कि 1,500 के चेक्स तो अभी तक बैंकर ने कलेक्ट ही नहीं किए हैं. हमने तो चेक कैशियर ने 8,000 से इंक्रीज कर रखा है बैलेंस, 6,500 से तो बैंकर ने भी इंक्रीज कर दिया, बट 1,500 के चेक्स अभी भी ऐसे हैं जो कि बैंकर ने कलेक्ट नहीं किए हैं. तो बैंकर का बैलेंस तो कम है 1,500 से, तो 1,500 माइनस कर लेते हैं. ठीक है. Number 2, so this is number 1 we have deducted. The receipt column of the cash book is undercast by 200. Now, क्या गलती करी है cashier ने कि कम कर दिया बैलेंस, रिसीट साइड कम कर दिया तो बैलेंस भी कम हो जाएगा ना. तो गलती से by mistake the cashier is showing lower balance. Has the banker made the same mistake? No. So banker's balance is not lower, it's higher only. So it will be added. Getting it? Again, I'm telling you. Receipt column has been undercast. Undercast means under totaled. So if the receipt side is under total, that means overall balance will go down by 200 by mistake. Has the bankers made the same mistake? No. So banker's balance must be higher only. So we are adding it to 200 because we have to reach to the banker's balance. Number 3, on 29 December, a customer deposited 3,000 directly into the bank account, but it was entered in the passbook only. So obviously cashier didn't know of this figure. He wouldn't have entered. But banker ने तो बढ़ा लिए. तो banker का balance तो बढ़ा हुआ है ना. हमें तो banker के balance तक जाना है, तो हम भी add कर लेते हैं. If you don't understand any transaction, let me know. I'll discuss it again. थोड़ा सोचना पड़ेगा. When you'll do 2-3 questions on your own, then you'll feel more confident, more comfortable. Transaction number 4. Checks of 9,200 were issued. Issued means payments, of which 2,200 were presented for payment on 15th January. Now I have to see my cutoff date. हम cutoff date पे तो ध्यान ही नहीं दे रहे थे. So cutoff date is important for this transaction. My cutoff date is 31st December. तो 15 January को तो दोनों ने equal हो जाना है. लेकिन 2,200 अगर 15 Jan have been presented on 15 Jan, that means the remaining have been presented till 31st December. Only 2,200 have been presented after the cutoff date. So 2,200, my banker's balance was higher till 31st December. On 15 Jan, so he also paid it. So my banker's balance was higher because he has not made the payment of this 2,200. He made the payment of these only on 15 Jan. So till 15 Jan, his balance was higher by 2,200. So the fourth will be added. Fifth one, passbook shows a credit of 330 as interest. That means my banker has increased my bank balance. He has given me the bank balance, 330. So this 330 I'll add it because the cashier didn't even know this amount was there. So I'll do just what the banker has done, right? And I'll reverse the transaction, what cashier has done. So my banker has given me this amount, so I'm also increasing it. And he deducted 60 as bank charges. So I'll also deduct it because I have to reach to the banker's balance. So 60 would be deducted, 330 would be added. And the bank had, now one mistake by bank also, the bank had wrongly debited the account of Gurman by 2,000, which was rectified after 31st December. So he has rectified, but not till the cutoff date. Cutoff date तक तो banker की ये गलती थी. तो cutoff date तक banker ने unnecessarily हमारे account को 2,000 से कम दिखा रखा. He has debited. So we'll also show it less because we are reaching to the wrong balance of the banker, no? Whatever it is, even if the mistake is there, we are just trying to reconcile the accounts. Balance, whatever the mistake was there, he rectified it later on. So that mistake is not a problem. The problem is, even after mistake, we are trying to say that even if we take into account the mistake, the account balance should match. Okay, so how much we are getting now? Let's do the total and find out the answer. So it is 12,000 minus 1,500 plus 5,400 plus 330 minus 14,170. Yes. So we've reached to the passbook balance. Okay. Now, question number 4. Let's do question number 4. So first is cash book balance. Again, we have to move from cash book to passbook. So what we'll do is whatever the cashier has done, but the banker has not done, we'll reverse that And whatever banker has done, we'll also do that because we have to reach to his balance. तो अगर हमें पासबुक बैलेंस तक जाना है तो जो भी बैंकर ने किया वो हम कर लेंगे, और जो बैंकर ने नहीं किया, कैशियर ने किया था, उसका रिवर्स कर देंगे. So moving on to the first, the starting point is 12,500. Then on comparing the cash book with the passbook, following discrepancies were noted. Checks issued but not yet presented for payment. So what happened? As soon as the checks were issued, the cashier reduced the balance payment के लिए, but banker का balance तो अभी तक नहीं reduce हुआ है because he has not paid them. So his balance is higher. So let's add it, because we have to reach to the higher balance of passbook. We have to reach to the banker's balance. Then checks deposited in the bank but not yet collected. Now, as soon as the cashier deposited the checks in the bank, he increased the balance. But banker has not even collected, so banker has not increased his balance. So banker's balance is lesser. So we decrease it. We have to reach to the banker's balance. Bank paid insurance premium. Now bank directly paid the insurance premium under standing instructions. Cashier didn't even know of it. तो कैशियर ने तो कुछ किया ही नहीं इस ट्रांजेक्शन का, लेकिन बैंकर ने तो पेमेंट कर दिया तो बैंक बैलेंस कम हो गया, तो हम कम कर लेते हैं बैंक बैलेंस. बैंक चार्जेस, cashier doesn't know of these. Banker directly deducted it from my account. So bank balance has gone down as per the banker. So we have to reach to his balance. So we'll deduct it. Directly deposited by a customer. Now directly somebody came and deposited into the bank. So bank balance went up as per the bank. So we'll add it because we have to reach to banker's balance. And then interest on investment collected by the bank. Bank directly collected interest on our behalf. He increased our balance. Cashier को तो कुछ पता ही नहीं था, तो हम भी increase कर लेते हैं balance, क्योंकि हमें तो banker के balance तक पहुंचना है. Cash discount allowed 200 was recorded on the debit side of the bank column. Now see, this was cash discount allowed. They are talking about the triple column cash book. तो ये cash discount column, एक उसमें जब triple column cash book होती है तो उसमें there is a discount column also. Now here what, it should have been debited to the discount, but by mistake the cashier debited it to the bank column. So what he did, unnecessarily increased the bank account. By mistake, the cashier debited this 200 into the bank column, unnecessarily increased the bank account. Banker has not made that mistake. Banker's account is still down. He has not increased it unnecessarily. So we'll also decrease this 200. And get me the final answer, please.
14,000.
Are you getting the answer as 14,000?
Yes.
This is my balance as per passbook. Are you getting the hold of it, bacho? A little bit. Okay. Now presentation, I'll tell you. Once you have understood, then putting it in plus column, minus column is not a big thing. ठीक है ना, बस इसमें प्लस प्लस वाली फिगर्स एक तरफ डाल देंगे, माइनस माइनस वाली फिगर्स एक तरफ डाल देंगे, वो प्रेजेंटेशन हो जाएगा. अगर कॉन्सेप्ट आ गया है तो सारे क्वेश्चंस को तुम प्रॉपर प्रेजेंटेशन में पुट कर पाओगे. नाउ लेट्स मूव ऑन टू क्वेश्चन नंबर 5. From the following particulars, prepare the bank reconciliation statement as on 31st December. So my cutoff date is 31st December. Debit balances per cash book. Again, they have given me cash book ka balance and I have to move to the passbook ka balance. Now, they have given me debit balance मतलब positive. अगर negative होता तो minus में लिख लेते, bank OD होता तो. So 10,000 है हमारा beginning point and we have to reach to the passbook. What banker has done? A check of 500 issued in favor of Karan but has not been presented for payment. So cashier, as soon as he gave the check to Karan, he deducted it. But the banker has not made the payment. So banker's balance is still higher. He has not made this payment. So we'll add it. A post-dated check of 1,000 debited in the bank column of the cash book, but not even sent to bank. Now see, what mistake did he do? He received the check, the cashier, and he increased the balance. but didn't even send it for collection. So banker's balance is reduced, only he hasn't received the check. How will he collect it? So his balance is lesser. So we're going to deduct it. A check for 295 deposited in the bank has been dishonored. Just say dishonor hota, as soon as the check is dishonored, the bank will deduct the figure from my bank account. I wouldn't even know it. So 295 has been deducted by the banker. So the bank balance has gone down as per the banker. So that is what we are going to do, because we have to reach to his balance. Fifth, a sum of 800 deposited in the bank, but has been credited as 80 in the passbook. Now what happened? There is a mistake by the banker. Instead of increasing it by 800, he omitted that 10. So there is an error of 720 rupees. So let's make that error to reach that balance as of now. So instead of adding 800, he added only 80. Okay. So his balance is lower as compared to the cashier by 720. So that is what we've done. Payment side of the cash book has been undercast. Now the payment side. Now payment side agar undercast hoega, so what happened? Unnecessarily, you're showing a higher balance because my payment side has been shown less. So if my payment side has been shown less, my account balance will be shown higher. But my banker has not made such mistake, so his balance is still lower. So I'm going to deduct it. And now give me the final answer. Calculate and let me know. Eight two eight five. 8285. Question number 6. Now see, all these things will just become opposite if the passbook balance is given to you and you have to reach to the cash book balance. Okay, correct, Aditya. 8285. Question number 6.
Ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am, I will have to leave. I have my school class.
Okay, okay. So, okay, we have already stretched the class. So, I'm winding up the class. Try to do some illustrations, but really important. Don't try to do the unsolved questions. All of you, at least try to do illustration 1 to 10. Illustration 1 to 10 for homework. Okay, try to do these. Okay, it'll help you get hold of the transactions. Some transactions maybe you'll find new, which we have not discussed so far. Okay, so try to do those and try to do in this format only. Abhi, don't worry about the format. Just do questions, illustrations of moving from cash book balance to the passbook balance. Don't go the other way around. If comfortable, you can do the other way also, passbook to cash book. Okay, but try to move from cash book to passbook and don't concentrate on the format. Just try to do it in this, in one line. Plus kya hona, minus kya hona, plus kya hona, minus. Once you get hold of it, then putting it in that format will be very, very easy. Okay, so now I'm winding up. Okay, there are 2 announcements to be made today. One is you have your test on Saturday. Okay, that is 31st August. Please make a note of it. Of your journal and your cash book. Okay, and of course the GST part of the journal and cash book also included. It will be a 40 marks ka paper of 1.5 hours, right? And then one more thing, your Tuesday class, that means आपका 3rd September का class will be preponed to Sunday, that is 1st September. Okay, please take a note of both the things. Saturday test, 40 marks, 1.5 hours. Journal cash book. And your class. So you've taken that picture now, share it on the group also. Okay, test And the Tuesday
Ma'am,
class, yes,
if
people.
we
Yes.
don't have GST questions, do we have to write it for the test?
You don't have GST in your syllabus?
No, ma'am, not at all.
Not at all. GST has been deleted fully.
Fully.
Okay, so what you're supposed to do is, I'll tell you what you're supposed to do. I'll just message you on your this thing. Okay, so
Ma'am,
Suparnika, just write a hi and your query so that I'll respond. I don't forget it. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. I'll message
Ma'am,
you tonight.
even with me, I only have very, very basic journals. Like even for rent, we're not considering any GST.
Same is the case for
Right,
me.
right, Ananya and Suparnika. I'll get back to you on WhatsApp. I'll give you the yes, set off of GST is included. Set off of GST is included.
So I have the
And
same thing.
okay, Arhan. So whoever is not having a GST for a particular this thing, I'll tell you what you have to do and how you have to go about it in the test paper. Okay? Oh my God, if you guys have not prepared, you'll say that you don't have it in your system. Okay. Okay, so those whoever has any query, let me know for GST part. Okay. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Bacham. Bye-bye. Thank you.
First of today and you're still here. Oh, till travel.
Okay.